Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to be at Camp Carmy. So I'm Counselor Carmy. This is Camper Zach. He brought Camper Teddy with him. And for your assignments, you can make, if you want to, if you have a tent, you can get your tent out to watch these videos, or you can make a blanket for it, or you can even sit outside in the great outdoors while you attend Camp Carmy. We have our trail mix with us, and I hope that you have some time to make a trail mix today too. So our trail mix is got brownie bites, veggie straws, some animal crackers, Teddy Grahams, Fruit Loops, all different stuff that Zach picked out from our snacks to make a camper's trail mix. And so you can have some of these snacks later, okay? And I hope that you guys have a nice, fun trail mix to make too. All right, so Zach and I want to share a book with you about camp, and it is called, it's one of our favorites because we love the Berenstain Bears, and it's called The Berenstain Bears Go to Camp. And I'm going to bring the computer up a little bit so you can see all the really cool pictures, okay? The Berenstain Bears Go to Camp. All right. It was the last day of school and the beginning of vacation, that wonderful time when little bears could sit around doing absolutely nothing. Brother Bear and Sister Bear shouted goodbye to Teacher Jane as they hopped on the bus for the happy trip home. Well, said Mama Bear after a day or so of vacation, are you enjoying sitting around and doing nothing? It's great, said Sister. Absolutely, said Brother. There's just one trouble with it, added Sister. There's nothing to do. Here, take a look at this, said Mama as she reached for something that had come in the mail. This is what it looked like. Tired of sitting around and with nothing to do? Come to Grizzly Bob's Day Camp. Summer fun for cubs of all ages. Look at all the stuff you could do. Swimming, canoeing, arts and crafts, sports and games, nature study, fully supervised by Bob. And don't forget about our exciting overnight campfire powwow and sleep out. Some of the things looked interesting, but Brother wondered what fully supervised meant, and Sister wasn't so sure about the overnight sleep out. It sounded a little scary. Boys and girls, which one would you want to do? Zach, you tell me too. Swimming, canoeing, arts and crafts, sports and games, nature study. What would be the activity you would want to do? What do you think, Zach?
Swimming.
He says swimming. I think the canoeing looks like fun. Where is this camp? Asked Sister. Not far, answered Mama. How will we get there? Brother wanted to know. A bus comes for you in the morning and brings you home in the afternoon. Sounds a little bit like school, said Brother. We'll think about it, said the cubs, and they went back to doing nothing. Well, not exactly nothing. They picked a few wildflowers, they chased a few butterflies, they turned over a few rocks, and they thought about it. Mama, could we try Grizzly Bob's Day Camps just to see if we like it? They asked. Of course, said Mama. They have a nice mom, don't they? Somebody stuck some stickers in this book one time. Was it you?
When I was a baby.
When he was a baby. A couple of mornings later, Brother and Sister were in camp shorts and t-shirts, all ready and waiting for when the bus came. It didn't look much like a school bus. Ooh, look at that's cool. And Grizzly Bob didn't look much like Teacher Jane. And the camp didn't look anything like school. Look at that. All those cabins. It's going to be they're going to have so much fun. Grizzly Bob had built his camp beside a lake at the edge of the forest. There were log buildings and a flagpole flying the camp flag, and a big bulletin board with the camp rules. There certainly were a lot of rules, some interesting paths, a roped in place to swim, and there was even a big red canoe. Bob made name tags for the cubs. You're campmates now, so you better get to know each other. Then he took them on a tour of the camp. There was an office with a desk where he did his paperwork. There was a first aid corner full of bandages and things for cuts and bruises. There was a rec hall to go into when it rained. Rec was short for recreation. There was a picnic place and a barbecue pit where they roasted hot dogs for lunch. Sister burned hers a little, but she traded it with another cub who liked burned hot dogs. Bob announced that after lunch they would all climb up Spook Hill to the very top of Skull Rock, the special place where they would have their end of the year powwow and sleep out. It was quite a climb. That evening, Mama and Papa Bear were eager to know if the cubs liked camp. It was okay, said Brother, but they sure have a lot of rules. It was all right, agreed Sister. They sure have a lot. They sure have plenty of bandages and stingy stuff for cuts. But they were both still thinking. But what they were both still thinking about was Skull Rock and that end of the year sleep out, especially Sister. Boys and girls, would you want to sleep over at camp for one night? Would you want to sleep out for one night?
Yes.
Oh, you would? You wouldn't be scared?
I won't be scared.
The second day was different. Brother had a great day. He passed his swimming test and was allowed to ride in the canoe. Sister didn't have such a good day. She played dodgeball and some of the cubs threw pretty hard. The third day, Sister had fun. She had a star from the bird picture frame she made in arts and crafts, but Brother hurt his knee in the wheelbarrow race. Look at all the fun they're having. The fourth day, both of them had fun. Somebody scribbled on this. Did you do that?
Uh-huh.
Hopefully not recently. The fourth day, both of them had fun. And every day after that, so much fun that they forgot about Skull Rock and the sleep out. Almost. You must have done that when you were a baby. Papa found the sleeping bags that he and Mama had used on their honeymoon, and when the camp bus came on the morning of the big night, Brother and Sister were ready. Sort of. The climb up Spook Hill wasn't so hard this time, even with backpacks. The cubs were strong and tough from their summer of camping. Tomorrow would be field day, the last day of camp, when their parents would come and watch their games and contests and see awards given out. But for now, all the cubs could think about was the big sleep out. It was just about to getting dark when they reached Skull Rock. Ooh, it does kind of look like a skull. But they could pick a less spooky place to camp. You can have your trail mix. Grizzly Bob built a campfire. Then he went into a small cave. When he came back, he was dressed in a beautiful Indian costume. The cubs sat in a semicircle and the powwow began. Bob told them old Indian legends of the great animal spirits, the legend of the great grizzly as big as a mountain, the soaring eagle who filled the sky, and the mighty salmon whose colors made the rainbow. As Bob told old stories, the cubs could almost see the wonderful creatures in the firelit smoke as it curled up into the night sky. After the powwow, they had cocoa and honey bread. They curled up in their sleeping bags, and soon they were all fast asleep, even Sister. The next day, Brother and Sister did very well at the field day games and contests. Brother won a trophy for finishing second in the dash, and Sister got medals for the dead bear's float and her bead belt. It was almost the end of summer. School would be starting in a couple weeks. Well, asked Papa, how did you like camp? It was great, said Brother, hugging his trophy. It was great, agreed Sister, wearing her medals proudly. But you know what else? After Grizzly Bob's day camp, school will be like a vacation. So they had a lot of fun at camp. And I hope you keep having fun at Camp Carmy. Are you having fun, Camper Zach?
Mm-hmm.
And Counselor Carmy is also having fun. All right, bye, guys.